My question, Joe, real quick, is why the hell do I ever do a PowerPoint for you and me? I don't understand. You're so good
Mm,
at that. That was awesome.
Because I love you.
Oh my God. I'm never doing a PowerPoint for our presentations again. Anyway, I'm sorry about that, but you're so good.
Yeah, thanks, Joey. That was awesome. Sweet. Well, thanks again for the introduction earlier, Joey. I'm Maggie, and I'm going to share a little bit about building a schedule for AERA. And so you guys can see my screen, okay? Okay, cool. So what I like to do is just Google AERA Annual Meeting 2024, and the first link will take you to this page. And then you can click over here to Annual Meeting, and it'll come to this page. And you can either access the program by logging in, clicking here, or you can just click here to view the schedule without logging in. The only difference I have been able to find that like when you log in or not, so this is what it looks like once you log in and get to the program. But the only difference I've been able to find is that on the right here, it won't give you an option to browse by descriptor for some odd reason. That's the only difference I can find. I don't know if anyone else has seen anything else that you can access by logging in, but anyways, so this is what the screen looks like when you log into the program. You can search here for different things that you're interested in or your name, as I obviously have. And on this homepage, it has just some like general details about the conference, where it's at, the on-site registration hours. These can be kind of important for like when you first get there, making sure you leave a little bit of time to register before you go to whatever the first event you go to is. You'll typically need to register before you do anything. So that'll need to be your first spot. Their hours are pretty generous, so they'll most likely be open when you're there. And then it gives a little bit more information about the exhibit hall and things like that. And one quick thing I wanted to say that I noticed earlier too is make sure you update your time zone. When I came in, it automatically had me in Central Time because that's where I am. And so I had to update it to East Coast time so that I could see the time that everything actual will be in the conference. I don't know if anyone else has done this, but I have made entire conference schedules that are a couple hours off. Or like if you add it to your Google Calendar and then you show up and you're in a different time zone and it automatically updates for you and all these things. So make sure you do that first so that you're seeing the correct time for things. And then so I'll just show you a few quick ways to search for different topics in the program. I just shared this link. This is some tips that AERA gives as well for searching. It's similar to like a database search where you can like put anything in here that you're interested in. And the way the program, this little tidbit that, or like the tips link that I just posted, they said that the way it works is that the results will appear by relevance in title and abstract. So this might not be the best method. So if you're searching like for a topic, like let's say absenteeism, like maybe you're interested in that. It's going to search for stuff in the title and abstract. But if you were to search like a person that you're interested in, or if you're trying to find yourself and like what you have on the thing, you'll want to switch to person. Sorry, my Zoom stuff is blocking it, but yeah, people, so that it'll pop up there as a person. And then you can click on yourself and find all the things. And so, yeah, let me go back to the home page. So all of these things over here can be pretty useful as you're kind of putting together your schedule to find different things. This is one way the program organizes it. You can click this on-site program calendar, and it's kind of like more of a calendar view where you can see the schedule by every day. You hold down your mouse and like scroll over and you can see what's going on. And you can click like all the different days and it will show you what's going on. I personally prefer to like search other ways. I don't know, the way my brain works, that page isn't as helpful for me, but You can also browse by day and see what's going on. Browse by person. This is a good one. Like if there's a scholar you're often citing in your work, like you might want to stalk them a little bit and look them up and see if they're doing any interesting presentations. Maybe some of your good friends at the Motivation SIG graduate student committee that you want to go see. You can search them here and find out what time they're presenting and where. You can also browse by room. The only thing I can think of that being useful for is like, I remember the conference in San Diego a few years was like stretched across like 4 buildings and some like timing logistics, like maybe you only have like a certain amount of time in between events. And so like you can't go very far and you want to quickly see like what else is going on in the room you're in or the building you're in. Another interesting one is browsing by unit. So this is where you can see all the different organizations. You can see divisions. So you can find Division C is one that I often frequent. You can click here and see all the different like subjects they're focusing on. Or you can just look at all of Division C and see what time they have presentations. Similarly, you can do this with the Motivation SIG. Somewhere here. And you can also use this to kind of explore other areas. I think conferences are a really great way to, like, yes, connect with the people that are in your field and in your area of interest, but also explore things that are new to you. Learn from people that are in kind of really different fields that you might be interested in. But yeah, so this page can be really helpful for that. You can see all these different things that you might be interested in. I had no idea how many SIGs there were until maybe after my first or second AERA. And so I wish I would have explored these a little bit more, I think. And there's other places on the AERA website where you can see all of them. And then another one that's useful is this browse by descriptor that for some reason doesn't pop up unless you're logged into the program. This one can be useful just for seeing different topics you might be interested in. So say you're interested in bullying. Oh, wow, I thought it was saying there was nothing for a second. Okay, so there's a lot there. So you can see, what time different things are. You can see the title here, what kind of organization it's in, and what session type it is. So if anyone hasn't been to AERA before, there's like paper sessions, which is typically like multiple different people presenting on their paper with like slides presentations. There's poster presentations where people walk around and see different posters. And then there's round tables where you all sit at a table and take turns sharing about your research and maybe have like different handouts and things like that. So sometimes it's good to know, like I've popped into things that I thought were going to be like a paper presentation, like a talk, and it was a round table, and they're really great to go to, but sometimes it's nice to like know what you're getting into. And let's go back to the home. Yeah, so, and again, browsing by time, I could see this being useful, like you're there on Friday, it's like 3 o'clock and you're not sure what's going on. So you click here and see what's happening. But now I'm gonna come back to this. So in terms of, now I'll talk a little bit about kind of like building your actual schedule. So that was kind of the program and how you can like dig in and use that to find different sessions and things that you want to go to. What I've done, and I just will share this with you all, like a little template for building your schedule. I think I stole this from somebody. I think maybe the Motivation SIG might have put out something like this a few years ago. And so I just copied it and made it blank. But I've used something similar to this to like create my own schedule. So I'll just fill in with these different blocks. Let me actually go to the link. Once I find what I like have, I'll go on here and fill out this box, say I have a presentation from 8 a.m. to 9. I'll go in here, block it out. I'll use like the merge feature to say whatever my session is and type it in here. Maybe add some details like the link to maybe the program or like where it's at, where it's located. Do this so that I don't. And then down here, there's like a little key so you can organize by like color with like the paper session. If it's a social event, if it's a business meeting, you can find this, you can the program here, and you can add your own little reminders. So yeah, feel free to, you should be able to access that and like make a copy of it if you want. But yeah, so what to choose, how to fill out your schedule. The first thing I do is prioritize your own presentations first, obviously. You'll want to make sure you block those out and make sure you know what time you're supposed to be where and when, and get there a little bit early so you can set up. So give time for that. And maybe too, if you're not, if you're doing some last minute planning, you know, give yourself some time to do whatever ritual it is you need to do before you present, you know, things like that. Give yourself some buffer time. Yeah. Consider the different organizations that you want to engage with. So SIGs, divisions, maybe your lab, maybe your, like for me, a lot of my program, I started during COVID. So a lot of it, once we started getting conferences, it was really exciting to be able to like connect with people in person. It's always fun to celebrate with your lab outside of, you know, maybe in a different city or something. So try to figure out when those are happening, when those like events and socials are going on, and put those into your calendar if that's what you want to schedule. And you can also, so a lot of that stuff, like the presentations and stuff are obviously on the program, and most of like the business meetings and sometimes even the socials are listed on the program, but sometimes they're not. So make sure you're following like the different organizations that you're involved with or want to be involved with to see maybe on Twitter or different things like that. Get on their email listservs to see when they're having their socials, their business meetings. Also, as a side note, I had no idea what business meetings were before I went to the AERA like conference, and it sounds really boring and lame, but it's not. It's a lot of fun, and it's a really cool way to like learn about who's in the division, what people are doing, and a great way to network. So I would definitely advocate for going to those. And usually those like lead into the socials. So those are always fun. I'll also say to go to the like graduate student social stuff. Like it's great to go to the ones with like everybody, but also like engaging with graduate students. Like AERA is one of the only times I would get to engage with the people on here and like see people in person and connect. Building your graduate student network, I'd argue, is just as important as building your like professional network. I mean, that is your professional network too, but you know what I mean? Like more than just faculty as well. So yeah, so go to business meetings, socials, and go to all the graduate student committee events that Motivation Safe puts on because they're always great. Yeah, again, consider unique opportunities to learn, explore those other topics, other SIGs that you might be interested in. Sometimes it's scary to go like alone, maybe you can get a buddy, but also I would definitely encourage stepping out of your comfort zone and checking some of them out. You can sit in the back and just watch and learn and listen. They're always great to kind of just learn about something new. I'll say for me, my like interests in my ed psych program, a lot of it was around trauma and trauma informed practices, and there wasn't faculty in my program that like necessarily specialized in that, and so conferences were a really great way to like find people who do and listen to them and go to their presentations and get some time to chat with them and get some face-to-face time with people that I was citing. So definitely encourage that. Lastly, set up times to meet with like colleagues and people that don't attend your university or that you don't live near. And I'd advocate for doing this early. So like reaching out to people like mentors or things like that, or people that maybe you're collaborating with. I feel like a lot of people are collaborating virtually with people now. So that's a great way to do that, to get some face-to-face time, take advantage of these conferences, get coffee with people, grab a lunch, whatever it is, or just attend a session with somebody. But yeah, I advocate for doing that early, reaching out early and like literally scheduling time for that just so you make sure it happens. And then I think I want to make sure I give Jeff plenty of time, but I've got some last quick tips. Don't overdo it. You don't want to be like running around and kind of tagged along with this, consider distance between things so you're not running around. But yeah, don't overdo it. I'll say as like an introvert, I made sure to like find some time where I can be alone and have some like downtime at conferences. It can feel like a lot. It sometimes feels like you have to do a lot of like feel like you have to do everything, but you don't. You can, you know, pick and choose, prioritize what makes most sense for your career, your interests, your needs, whatever it may be. Screenshot your schedule, make this little schedule, or if you are a pro with GCal and the time zones, do that. And take a screenshot, make your phone background, or print it out and attach it to your badge. I think I learned that from Joey. So that's always a great way to kind of have it on you. And then, yeah, take advantage of networking opportunities. Conferences are just a really unique opportunity to see a lot of people that you don't usually see. And go to the Motivation Say Graduate Student Committee events because they're the best. Sorry, I thought that was my last one. And share notes with peers and lab mates. You can't always go to everything, so that can be a nice way to like our lab used to we'd go to different sessions and take notes and just have a shared Google folder where we'd add them all so you can catch up on what you missed. Man, I had a lot more than I thought. Okay, have conference buddies. Sorry. Conference buddies are great to tag along with and go to different things together. And yeah, okay, I think that was really everything. Sorry for probably going over time.
You did not go over time. Actually, before I know you have to hop off in a
Perfect.
moment. Just I have one quick question for you because you kind of mentioned it.
Yeah.
When you're trying to decide where to go, I know this is a very subjective question. I'm really just curious your own opinion. When you're down between 2 or 3 different sessions, even, how do you choose which one to go to?
Yeah. Honestly, I think people might have differing opinions about this, but I have before in conferences scooted into the back and sat in the back row and gone to the first half. It's really, sometimes you can even see what order the presentations are going in. And so if there's really only one person that you're super excited to see, trying to finesse, maybe going to multiple at the same, in the same session. So splitting your time is maybe a good thing. But also I just think if you're in a situation where you need to pick one, I think considering how unique it is, will I get an opportunity like this again? Probably not. Or yes, or yes, this is something people do often, and then maybe the other thing is do I know somebody else who's going that will be able to share notes with me? But yeah, and then I just think about, I feel like the uniqueness is the biggest thing I always thought about was do I have access to stuff like this normally or not? And that was how I did it. Curious if other people have other ways that they make those decisions, because it is hard sometimes. There's a lot of good stuff and there's a ton of stuff, and I think it's also just accepting that you're not going to be able to see it all.
Well, thank you. While Jeff prepares, are there any questions for Maggie before she has to hop off?
Yeah, or at least I might be able to stay on, but just off camera, and I'll just be driving.
Well, if there's no questions, we'll stop recording Maggie's session and then